Good fences make good neighbors, but do they really? That's the subject of today's video. We're going to be talking about fences, perimeter security, things like that. So, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it helps out the channel tremendously. So I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. And let's get started on today's topic. So, first and foremost, the idea of fences and things like that, perimeter security, right, is deterrence and actually physical barriers. So one of the ways that I have deterrence is through signage. That's the first thing I want to talk about. If you have not read this, go ahead and read it. It says, warning, there is nothing on this property worth losing your life over. So with signage, you have this psychological aspect of it. You got the person sitting there, they come up on it, they read it, you know, starting to interpret things. I like to do several forms of signage. This is just a very basic, this is just a back gate of the property. I have a really good neighbor on the other side, so not too worried about a, threat level from that aspect. But on all my other gates, I have various signs that say, warning security cameras, because I do have cameras out at many locations across the property. The second one is no trespassing, obviously, right? So that's I have lots of those up. No trespassing. I've got caution, tire damage will occur, things like that. Oh, and beware a dog, because I have a German Shepherd. So with that, right, you start, your defense should be layered, like a layered defense. That's kind of how I've always interpreted it. And so like your first line, signage, right? People see those, they read them, they got to pause to read it. And so their thought process is going to start kicking in. In addition to that, I have security cameras. I'm not sure if you can see this camera right here, but I've got one here that's very visible. And then I have one over here as well to get a side angle. And what that does is it triggers the person, okay, I'm reading these signs, I'm at the barrier or perimeter, and I can clearly see that they're watching me. Some signs I'll get just have a caution, and then they have a blank space where you can write out a message. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put, you are on camera, tire damage will occur, no trespassing. So what that does is it shows the person, that could potentially trespass, that, okay, the landowner, he's taking time to actually physically write out a warning sign. It says I'm on camera, I look up, I can clearly see I'm on camera, and that I'm not welcome. So in addition to that, at a very contentious point, it's where I cut all the trees down. That's where a lot of people were getting through and accessing our property illegally. So what I did there is I took an extra step, and from my location, I shot bullet holes through it. So when you're looking at it, it looks like, the fragmentation comes out. So not only are you reading a handwritten message by the person that doesn't want you there, you can see that you're on camera. You see that the person has shot, has firearms, and the sign has been shot from the landowner's direction, right? So was he shooting at somebody else? What happened here? And it's a big obstacle that that you're not supposed to go over. So there's a lot of psychological stuff that potentially would deter the person. So that's with signage. I think signs are effective. Another effective thing is a lot of states now have what's called the purple paint law. And I'm sure you can see these T-posts. Every other T-post I will paint with purple paint. It's to signify no trespassing. And signs cost $2, but a can of paint costs about $2, and it goes a lot further. So I've done that all around the property. On significant like landmark trees, I will do it, and usually what I'll do is I'll put a purple band all the way around the tree so that you can't say, oh, I didn't see it. No, that's impossible because it's 360, so you can't really argue that one. And this leads us up into the next phase, which is going to be physical barriers, fencing, obstacles, things like that. So this is just a pretty run-of-the-mill gate. I've got it here because we have the wire mesh to keep future animals in that we have, such as like goats and chickens and all that stuff. And it's a little bit, I mean, obviously somebody can climb over it if they really want to, but let's be realistic. It's a little bit more difficult. Okay, so the other thing, and how I secure my gate. So let's see. I'm not sure if I'm gonna move the camera real quick. To right over there. Okay. So you see here I have my hinges, and a lot of times what people will do is they will just unbolt the gate, right? Because I have it locked on that side, and what people would do in the past is they would, like I said, just unbolt the hinges, take it off, and swing it open. Now I have this heavy-duty chain padlocked on this side and that side, so I've got two ends of the gate that are padlocked. You'd have to do a lot of work to get through it, or to remove it. It's not something that you can just like ram. I mean, you could, but you're gonna do a lot of damage to whatever vehicle you're in. You got the overhang, you've got the gate, you're gonna have the post come in on you. It would be a whole mess. So that's another further way of deterrence, is the more steps that you can make it to be difficult for a potential intruder, the less likely they're gonna wanna like fool around with it. So with like with this, you would have to find a way to cut the chain, and then you're gonna have to unbolt it. And then you're gonna have to deal with the fact that you're on camera, and then you're gonna have to deal with the fact that, okay, once you get in, then what's gonna happen? Probably bullets are gonna fly, but you never know. So yeah, that's as far as like low-level gates, I guess I would call them. I've got some heavier duty ones. I'm gonna take you guys over and show it to you real quick. So this is an example of a heavy-duty steel gate. This is about a 1/4 inch thick steel. It's tube, so it's, you know, a little bit more rigid. This has stopped numerous people, and on each side of the posts there are large boulders that prevent from going around it with a vehicle or ATV. Now obviously on foot, yeah, it probably doesn't do the best, but that's why I have a layered defense. So the good thing is the driveway is about a mile long, and it's up a mountain. It switches back twice, or it comes up and then switches back. So not a lot of people really want to walk that. Again, the majority of people are like water, and they take the path of least resistance. However, that does not mean that you should ever underestimate people and what they will do or are willing to do. If you are wondering about the AR, it's because we have a really bad bear problem here. I've caught numerous bears on camera, multiples at one time. And yeah, I know black bears are a little bit more docile, but why take the chance? So, back to the gates. This one is closer to the house, so that's why this one is important. That's why I really want to keep it here. The color scheme that I picked is more of an authoritative color scheme. Red generally produces like a slight fear feeling, a little bit more urgency, things like that, along with black, and then the white just goes with it. But that was the reason for the color scheme like that, and most of my gate posts are colored red or this red, black, and white for that reason. A lot of it, like I said, is psychological. Think of like FedEx. I think theirs is red, or maybe it's orange, but it has more of a fight or flight type feeling. Like I said, urgency. So you see it, you probably know, you're not supposed to be here. Also, like, there's a psychological aspect of going through a gate that you know you're not supposed to be going through. So it's all about deterrence, right? I'm gonna lock this up real quick, and we're gonna talk about fencing next. Also, I forgot to mention, I have a camera right here at a tree that you can't see, slightly off camera, pointed down the road or the driveway. Again, it's all these things that you know that you're not supposed to be doing this, and realizing you're on camera. Okay, now I want to talk about fencing. And fences are important. However, they are also very expensive. So for this one, I actually did not lay this one, so I understand it's upside down when the people did it, but it was already set up. So, fences are important. They keep bad things out, good things in, right? So, in addition to the bear problem, which unfortunately for us, the bears just body slam the fences and push them over. I've already talked to the game warden, and we have discussed different ways on how to handle said mammal. But smaller things like coyotes, it keeps those out. We do have a bobcat problem here. Actually, just past the gate that I just showed you guys, a bobcat a couple weeks ago killed a full-grown deer. I did not think it was possible, but apparently it is. So, keeps things like that out. And I know a lot of animals can jump this, like deer, for instance, but they're less likely to, jump over a fence. You got barbed wire up here, double strand. It's a deterrence thing. I understand that they can do it, but hopefully they don't, right? Or at least it lowers that occurrence from happening. In addition to fencing, one awesome thing about woven wire, or really any wire, is you can use it as a trellis. Now, before we started building and clearing all this land out, this was nothing but like 6 acres of briar patches, and anything from like wild raspberries to blackberries, any other kind of like thorny berry was out here, which is great, right? Because I love blackberry jam, I love wild raspberry jelly, things like that. So working with nature, we're kind of like helping each other out here. I've got this blackberry bush trellised on this woven wire, right? And I have this down the entire length of the fence line, to my right and to my left. So over time, those blackberry bushes, they're gonna grow up, they're gonna weave through this wire, and it's gonna create an additional layer of protection, right? While also doubling as a food source. Hopefully I can keep the bears away from it. I don't know how next year is gonna go. I will keep you guys posted on that, because they love berries. It's an easy food source for them, but I also like berries, and I'm the apex predator here, so supposedly. But this is a great way, not only for keeping animals out. People don't really want to go through briar thickets, right? If you've ever done any kind of like land navigation in the military, and you come across, like, your point is past a briar thicket, you generally try to want to go around it, or sometimes you just got to suck it up and just go right through it. It sucks. Or like if you're a hunter, right? It's either the deer that you get goes into a creek, or he goes into a briar patch. I don't know why it's always that way, but it is. Nobody wants to go through it. So yeah, it is an added layer of defense that you can utilize if you have it. If you don't have it, go to the store, get some, or get some, like pick some wild blackberries, and then you can just drop the seeds out, right? The good thing is you can always transplant, things like that. So you can add that to your layer of security, and it also doubles as a food source, as I said earlier. So now we're going to move on to the final topic, which is going to be cameras. I hope there's not a snake over here. Okay, so cameras, right? So there's two types of camera. Well, I mean, there's hundreds of different types of cameras you can have, but the two that I like are the Moultrie Mobile. I'm definitely not sponsored by them. I'm actually not sponsored by anybody except myself. I have been using these since the early days. Actually, this is a very old one that I got back in like 2018 for hunting. They're very, very good. You get very high quality images and video, and it's cellular, right? So I don't have the property fully under like a wireless canopy, like how I want it eventually. So I have to use cellular cameras for the most part. I do have a security system here for the camper that I stay in while we're building. But as far as like wireless and all that stuff, that's down the road. So that's why I rely on Moultrie cell cameras. They are expensive. They're very expensive. And it floored me when some guy decided to take down the gate and destroy the camera. Oh, that sucked. But that is why I learned it is extremely important to have a visible camera that you're obviously going to see. I mean, you would have to be blind to miss it. And a hidden camera. The reason I like to do that is it's like a triangulation effect, right? So you put one facing like the opposite direction, you can pick up their license plate, or you can pick up certain identifying features, right, that you can give to the police or the sheriffs or whatever like that. I've had to do that before. It's fun. Not really. The other one, you get like the head on, the face, all that kind of stuff, and it's visible, so it's that deterrence, which it should be a deterrence. I have noticed since putting these out more that it has been a huge deterrence, which is a good thing, right? Nobody wants to be on camera. Nobody wants to be on camera when they're doing bad things. So, like I said, your cameras, I have done a tutorial, I think it might be membership only, on how to camouflage the cameras that you want hidden. It's very, very important. A lot of times, like this camera, I think it was like in a beech tree camo pattern. There's like no, I'm sorry, birch. There's like no birch trees out here, right? It's all like oak and things like that. So you need to get a color scheme that matches your environment for whatever area that you're in. A lot of the Moultrie Edge, they're just plain tan, which is cool if you don't really want to hide them, but if you're trying to keep them from being seen by like human eyes, you need to camouflage them up. Spray paint, 3 different colors of your choosing, cover up the lenses, tape off that stuff, and start spraying it, right? You will be amazed at how many people have walked past or driven past my cameras without even noticing back in the early days before I had gates up here. It was crazy. People would, I mean, they'd walk right past them, never even see them. So, and I didn't even think I hid them that well. I just did a really good job at painting them. So that, in addition to all of the things that we've said in this video, obviously I'm not going to reveal all of my secrets, but these are some things on how to keep your homestead, your farm, your house, things like that, safe and secure. Like I said, good fences make good neighbors. There's so many different things that you can do to keep your place secure. You know, it's really good. And then you also have natural features as well, which I didn't even get into. Actually, I guess I'll probably get into that. So like natural features, right? Do you have a creek? Do you have a pond that's on the border of your property? Fortunately for us, the north side of our property has a creek that runs along the main road. And pretty much this whole western edge of our property at the top of the ridge is nothing but a rock face. It's cliffs. You'd have to have serious climbing gear to get up that and over it. I went hiking up there. I couldn't even get past it at certain points, and I had to quit and come down the hill. So those are natural features that you should check out on your property, right? Do you have those? But anyway, I hope you guys got something out of this video. It's starting to rain, so I'm gonna have to pack it up here real quick. If you have not, definitely hit the subscribe button, do the likes. Comment below with your thoughts, your opinions. I always love to hear them, and I always respond. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video.